for the stations of Minnesota Public Television.
Someone with color, someone with dash, brought fight fans a running with cash.
Muhammad Ali, he is not, but we're going to hear more from the governor tonight.
Yes, indeed we are. By the way, this is the real SummerSlam right here, also known as Newsnight. I'm Ken Stone.
And I'm Lou Harvin. Stay tuned to your TV set for a story about something a little more serious, low-income housing construction with a twist.
Yes, indeed, and St. Paul School Superintendent Patricia Harvey is here. We also have live music courtesy of Zomerfest. Let's get ready to rumble!
Well, where shall we start? How about with the biggest political news of the day? And to be honest, you just can't write this stuff. So, let the governor take it away.
Those old days. In light of where wrestling is today, it is time to bring back some law and order. And that will be my job at SummerSlam, August 22nd, for the championship match, because I rule here. I am bigger than you, McMahon. I'm more powerful than you. I am more powerful than the World Wrestling Federation. As long as you're in this state, you hold no power here. It's very simple. It's the body rules. It's my rules or the highway. As simple as that. But I also want to say very quickly that I'm doing this for a selfish purpose too. There's been a lot of criticism that I'm not in shape anymore. The two local newspapers have both taken shots at me this week and said a bunch of bull that I'm not in shape anymore. Well, we're going to prove to them August 22nd who's in shape. You're right. I'm not stepping back in the ring to wrestle, but I am stepping back in the ring to be a referee, and there will be law and order. This will be a title match like no other title match they've ever seen before, because I have the power.
All right, yes, you got it right. Jesse is returning to the canvas this August at the Target Center. It will be a pay-per-view event. Now, the governor says he will be paid $100,000 for his appearance, all of which will be given away to a foundation and his alma mater, Roosevelt, and an additional undisclosed sum from videotape royalties and the use of his name. Well, with that in mind, Wade Keller now joins us. He is the editor of the Pro Wrestling Torch. If anybody knows anything more, it is this man right here. Tell me about that undisclosed amount. What are we talking about?
Well, he said that it's going to be a percentage of the revenue that he receives from videotape sales, the use of his name and likeness, which he has trademarked, and other percentages of things that are related to this event coming up August 22nd. Basically, it's a clever way for him to avoid giving a specific figure. Mm-hmm. But there's no way that Jesse's doing this out of the goodness of his heart for Vince McMahon. They're not that good of friends. So you better believe this was set up for him to get what he thinks he's worth.
Now, I've been hearing that $1 million figure. Is that even in the ballpark?
Yeah, it'll be between $1 and $2.5 million. I mean, a 95% chance it'll be between $1 million and $2.5 million.
Okay.
And he'll be worth it to him.
Now, he's not going to referee all of the events going on. Is one particular match?
He'll referee the main event, which will be Stone Cold Steve Austin against Triple H, on almost all likelihood.
All right. Now, I have been involved in wrestling to some degree. About a week ago, we had a certain person on the program, and his name was, I think it was Mad Dog something or other. We got some video I think we were going to show. Mad Dog was shown. And I know sometimes you plan some things, and you kind of know what's going to happen, and then there are things that you kind of don't expect, like a cop on your head. But what is going to happen in this thing that Jesse's going to be at? I doubt if he's just going to referee. It's going to be memorable?
Yeah, the WWF always uses celebrities in a memorable fashion. I don't think that he'll wrestle a match or get into a full-fledged fight, but I'm sure there'll be some shoving matches. I'm sure there'll be some arguments. And I have a feeling that there'll be some level of controversy before it's over, with Jesse being able to get the fans' cheers, no matter what his decision is in the end.
All right. Now, how have the pay-per-view sales been, especially with the announcement that Jesse Ventura is now a part of this?
Well, SummerSlam last year did about 700,000 purchases all across the country. WrestleMania about 5 months ago did around 900,000. So this is SummerSlam again, their second biggest event of the year. The question is, can Jesse elevate them to WrestleMania levels? Normally it does less than WrestleMania. Can Jesse being involved elevate it to maybe even close to 1 million? That's going to be the big question. Had he wrestled, I think it would have been 1 million. I think we're a little short of that.
Okay, now we're talking about the WWF, and nothing personal on the WWF, but they are considered the raunchiest, the sleaziest. They got some of more violence than all of the rest of the federations.
Yeah.
And I don't know, do you feel this is something our governors should be a part of?
Well, I think the WWF should feel very lucky that they have a governor of a major state basically endorsing them by being part of this. Jesse has always been part of, he's always been active in kind of following wrestling, even when he hasn't been in it, somewhat peripherally. He's never completely disowned wrestling. I think that there's money to be made, and that's why Jesse's doing this. And I don't know that he's really concerned about the content of the programs.
All right, you're concerned all about, I know there are a lot of kids at this press conference.
Yeah.
And they look up to the governor, and they look up to the WWF, and it's like we're saying, hey, kids, this is really, really great.
I think most kids can keep in perspective what they're watching is not the real world and not to act that way. But there is going to be a percentage of kids who are going to see the governor part of this really raunchy program and think, well, if Jesse can be part of it, then I can act like them. And I think Jesse needs to speak out on that. And I think he needs to tell kids, or maybe even parents, not to let their kids watch if he doesn't think it's right for children.
All right, Wade Keller, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Governor Ventura, remember him? He's leaving the governor's conference tonight in St. Louis to make a guest appearance on a wrestling program in Chicago. Ventura will appear on WWF Raw to promote his return to ring as a referee August 22nd. Once again, the governor is drawing criticism. Today, Republican Party Chair Ron Ebensteiner said Ventura should put away his toys and do the work he was elected to do. The governor says Minnesota elected him as a former wrestler, so why should it matter that he's involved with the sport again? The WWF is paying for Ventura's security and travel expenses for tonight's appearance.
Governor Ventura returned from the National Governors Association conference today. He took time out from his gubernatorial duties last night to fly to Chicago to appear on the USA Network's World Wrestling Federation program. As Newsnight's Mary LaHammer reports, Governor Ventura seemed to relish his return to the world of pro wrestling.
Donning his best suit, Ventura climbed into the ring to assert his authority. The contrived controversy involves a wrestler known as Triple H, who Ventura is scheduled to officiate in Minneapolis. Ventura says his appearance on the raucous wrestling show does not demean his position as governor. He says his return to the ring to referee would be like presidential candidate and former NBA star Bill Bradley returning to basketball to referee a game.
And if you're wondering, the WWF paid for Ventura's travel and security expenses for last night's appearance.
Okay.
After much controversy and anticipation, Governor Ventura returned to the wrestling ring last night. Ventura refereed the final match in a raunchy WWF pay-per-view event. Now, for those of you who were not willing or wanting to fork over the $30, here's a look at our governor in action, and be forewarned, there is some rough language. Announcers dropped the title governor faster than a double flying drop kick, about the pace of the governor's defense. Ventura's role in the raunchy morality play was to lay down the law. Double negatives were nothing on this night. No less than 4 profanities vaulted from Ventura's mouth. The governor is donating his $100,000 appearance fee to charity, but he also stands to pocket more than $1 million in other fees. Here in the metro area, the pay-per-view event reportedly drew 7,300 subscribers. That's about triple the normal number. National figures have not been released.
Although the governor said that he wouldn't comment about what he calls his personal life, late today, Ventura did respond to the vulgarity last night, and here's what he said.
Is the product okay for a family audience? I mean, okay for the governor of Minnesota to be a part of it?
That's a fair question.
Parenting.
Would you let your kids watch it if they were preteen?
Would you?
No.
Parenting. It's not my business.
And it was back to official business for the governor today. This afternoon, Ventura and Lieutenant Governor May Shunk met with about a dozen of Minnesota's tribal leaders at the governor's residence. While no specifics were given afterwards, they did talk about education and Indian gaming.
Is that I was very impressed and very delighted with the candor of the governor and also the openness that he displayed in many topics that we discussed in our conversation. And I think that the conversations that we had indicates that a lot of the areas of progress that the state of Minnesota is making is parallel with what the Indian tribes are trying to do.
That was Chairman Bobby Whitefeather from Red Lake. We apologize for the mistake there.